So I was casually looking at the leaked picture of the starter set for Necrons for 8th edition, of course not excited at all about the Necron release. And then I spotted this. What is that? Is that a new Necron Immortal? It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about Necrons and more, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so we have this image and we think it's the Necron half of the starter set when 9th edition is launched. Necrons versus Primaris Space Marines. Now when I first saw this image, the thing that really drew me in, attracted my attention, was in the top right hand corner. As a Necron player who's been playing Necrons for many years, I mean that thing there, that just took my eye away from this picture. I mean look at it, some form of walker, and then behind we know we've got the Skorpekh Lord, and we've got those destroyers. There's also a new character there potentially, new scarab swarms, and just to the left of the scarab swarms there seems to be another new character and potentially some bodyguard type units, and of course we've got the new warriors. So that's what I saw. However, having a really close look at this image, and there appears to be a new immortal. If we zoom in a little bit more on this guy, well, you can clearly see he's got a Gauss blaster, the immortal gun. However, the actual guy himself doesn't look like an immortal. I think I just dismissed it that it was an immortal, and probably behind that sort of smoky area there's probably just a unit of them. So yeah, immortals. But looking closely, that is a totally different model. Now we've got this picture here, and this picture does have immortals in it. If we zoom in closely, we can see that these are the standard immortals. They've got Gauss weapons, of course, which probably means that Gauss weapons is going to be the better weapon of choice on immortals, which isn't surprising. Tesla is very good at the moment. Everyone has Tesla immortals, and Games Workshop will want to sell more immortals to the people that have glued the Tesla guns to the models. They'll want them to buy the same kit again and then build Gauss weapons. However, we can clearly see that the immortal in this image, if it is an immortal, is different from the standard ones, and it's mainly around the crest section just below his neck. Now going back to this image that Games Workshop released, zooming in and looking around, well, if you look at the Skorpekh Lord and then look at the other image that we've got and zoom in on the immortal guy, well, the top half of both of those miniatures actually look almost the same. Now my original thoughts that this new guy that I've just discovered is basically just another way to build the Skorpekh Lord, maybe with this Gauss blaster. However, the Gauss blaster guy is definitely a little bit smaller than the Skorpekh, so I'm not thinking that is the case. So who exactly is this new guy? I mean, zooming in even more, and they really do look identical. They're pretty much the same. Obviously the Lord has two arms coming out, so he's got a bigger socket where those arms go in, which again indicates that it is a different model. However, it's definitely a Skorpekh design. So is this guy here a Skorpekh Immortal? Now one would think if it's a Skorpekh model it would have 3 legs like the Skorpekh Lord. However, looking closely at the Immortal guy there, well, he doesn't appear to have 3 legs. Now it is a bit of a maybe blurred image, or even 2 images sort of overlapping. However, I'm sure I can see 2 legs, one bent potentially on a rock, and then there's another foot just hiding underneath the gun. So I think it's only got 2 legs. So maybe, just maybe, we've got a new Immortal unit. I mean, honestly, I don't think we do, because the current Immortal kit is actually quite new and it doesn't have green rods in, which is why most of the units have been replaced. So if it's not an immortal, then maybe it's a new immortal character, possibly a HQ, or maybe an immortal leader. Those are the things that I'm thinking of, but what do you think? Did you notice this guy in the first place? And if you did, who do you think he is? Let me know in the comments box below. Now before you leave, there's also something else which I spotted, which I want to talk about. Now going back to this image of the Skorpekh Lord and the new destroyers, which when I first saw this, that's the models I was looking at. However, in the bottom left hand corner there, what is that? If we zoom in a little bit closer, there's definitely a miniature there. Now we know there was a hidden model just behind the monolith, which when you look at both of these miniatures very closely, they do look as if they're the same one. Now they're both sort of stooped over and they're walking almost like a monkey, I suppose. But are these the new flayed ones? I mean, there's no skin draped over them, so they've either rewritten the fluff of flayed ones or it's another unit altogether. Now I'm not sure if that green sword is part of his miniature. If you look at the original picture there, once again we've got almost a faded effect, potentially two images joined together. That little green sword could be part of the destroyers. However, looking closely at those weapons, and they don't seem to be the same. The one on this model has a little cutout, so I think he may be holding that little sword thing, but I'm not sure. So I thought that was another interesting thing. So once again, let me know what you think this miniature here is, and if you haven't seen any of my other 9th edition Necron videos, I'll link you up to the new playlist just in the description below. Beam me up!